From the book of short stories written by Philip J. Bradbury. This is a fictional short story titled The Good Book, read by Philip J. Bradbury. For 16 clashing years they've been trying to shape me like a big cheese they let stand and get stinky. But I don't fit. I pretend to, but I don't. My body's here, but my mind's other places. Like, I do the milking regularly before and after school, but I'm in winter, thinking I'm spring and yearning for summer. Unexpected ideas pour in unexpectedly and mercilessly. My wife's arranged years ago, and I should be grateful. She's a nice, reliable girl, Mary is. But I thought there was love, heart-pounding, sweaty hand stuff, and I've never felt that. Folks here don't show it, so maybe I'm making it up. How would I know? I'm told to be content, but content? Content's okay, but I'd love some happy, silly, and amazing too. Not all the time, as it might get tiring. Once in a while it'd be nice. Anyway, these city people came to our community, and everybody said they looked weird and different, though we shouldn't judge, be kindly, forgiving, and spiritual. Anyway, I judged them. I judged on the good side, but I still judged, and the only word that fitted was sharp. They wore these suits, and I felt so slovenly next to them. I really, really wanted to talk to them and find out about where they came from. Must be a different world. A smooth suit, shiny shoes, clean fingernails, and brushed hair world. Ma said they're inspecting papers, whatever that means, and everyone's treating them with the reverence they have for the good book. But I told myself they're just humans underneath, and I might never see them again. My chance gone. I had to do something. Bump into them, start a conversation, anything. I prayed on it, but Da kept me so busy outside I couldn't get near. Then I had an idea. They're inspecting papers, so they like what's written on them. I snuck into the shed cupboard and got Da's notebook for recording sick cows. I prayed for God to send me some nice and impressive words. None came, and I nearly swore. I tried not to get angry, but I couldn't stop it. Here was my chance, and I was letting it slip under the gate. I hate to say it because it's unholy. Respect your parents and all, but I couldn't stop thinking I really wanted to leave this place. I'd thought this before many times, but I'd always been able to bless and release the thoughts. Not this time. They just wouldn't go. I ripped out some pages and stuffed them and a pencil in my pocket, hoping God would find time soon to send me words for my deliverance, and hope Da wouldn't find them gone, else I'd be sent to the repentance room and have to confess and all that tedious and embarrassing stuff. Patience was a virtue, they said. I finished the milking, fed the calves, and cleaned up until it was dinner time. The sun had gone, and I knew they'd gone too. Unholy words came to my throat, but I didn't utter them. Nearly did, but I didn't. I sat on a trough and tried really hard not to cry or blaspheme, and kept it all in. That was a big sigh, young man. What? I asked, leaping up in shock. There was one of the sharp people there, a lady in smooth black and white. I'm sorry I startled you, she said with the kindest smile, putting her little phone in her pocket. Why are you looking so pensive? She sat down and patted the space next to her. I sat too. Pensive. I'd never heard that word, and it sounded nice. Expensive and nice. Well, I'm trying to think of something to write to you, I said. Last chance. No use being dumb and stupid. Speak up honestly, though I'm feeling hot, red, and shaking. Do you write? Yeah, I do. Stories that come to my brain, I said. I'd never told anyone before, as it wasn't exactly the words of the good book. Please don't tell Ma and Da. Somehow she looked really trusty. I'd love to see them. She smiled and lit the sky up, pale, sweet light. Would you? Gosh, I said. No one had seen my secret words, and God had sent her to me like I asked. It's in my room, and no girls are allowed. Oh, can you bring them out? If I go in, I'll have to wash and have dinner, and you'll be gone. Well, we're back tomorrow, so drop them out your window now, and we'll talk about it then, after I've read them. We did that, and they weren't there the next day. They'd gone. I felt a hollow in my stomach, like a mealy worm was crawling around, chewing my insides. I hid behind the shed and couldn't stop the tears and cursing this time, and I didn't care who heard me. I heard her laugh behind me and spun around to see her silhouette glowing in the sunset. Oh, sorry, Samuel, I didn't mean to laugh. I just haven't heard you cry or anything, Mary said, her small voice trailing off. Well, I do, I huffed, not caring what she thought. You're always constrained like everyone here, she said, coming closer. I thought only I had feelings. You never look like you have any, I said. I've got more than my body can hold. I have to let them out when no one's looking, she said, her voice growing bolder. I thought I was weird. I stood up and could feel her breath on my face. I itched to touch her, but that was forbidden. This wasn't the Mary I had known all my life. This one had a spark, and I started feeling my heart pounding, my hands sweaty. Oh, Mary, I said, and touched her cool shoulder. She didn't pull away, and I sensed her smile as the dusk gathered its dark cloak. I longed to tell her of my writing and my lost opportunity, but words wouldn't come. Shall we meet here tomorrow? She asked. Yes, I said, and she fled. We started meeting in our secret place most evenings, and I eventually told her of my writings. I feared she'd report me, but I had to tell someone as the story was bursting to get out. She listened, smiled and patted my arm, and the tingles from that went through my whole body for days afterwards. Maybe 6 months later, a parcel came, and I had to open it in front of my family. No secrets, see? It was a package of 6 identical books. They had a black and white picture of a boy sitting on a trough, like he was thinking, and they were called The Dairy Diaries. I trembled to open the first book, but couldn't stop, while my ma and da and brothers stared silently, unmoving. Yes, here were my stories, all nicely typed up. Someone had copied them and made a book. I shut the book and stared at the cover again, and saw my name, Samuel Brightwell, at the bottom. I felt that heart-pounding, sweaty hand stuff that I had with Mary oft times. I handed a book to Da, but his hands didn't move, and nor did his face. He was frozen. I handed it to Ma, and she didn't move. Her eyes were soft and wet. Da's were hard and dry. You been keeping secrets, lad? Da asked, his voice quiet and rough. I didn't know books were being made, Da, I promise. You been writing words of your own, not of the good book? He asked, his hands clenching and unclenching. Yes, I mumbled. That's of the devil, and I'll touch them. Burn them, he ordered. But Seth, Ma said, as tears flowed more freely. Now, he commanded. No, I said quietly, firmly. I didn't know where the firmly came from, but it just seemed to rise from the earth, and I couldn't stop it. This was something that was mine, something I was proud of, though it mystified me, how the books came to be made, but they were mine and they were good. Good books, I knew that. Da stepped forward and I stepped back with the ripped open parcel in my arms. I bumped into Ma and she touched my shoulder. Can we think on this, Seth? Pray on it, perhaps, she suggested. Out now and burn them. You're blaspheming God and our household, he said, his voice rising. We cannot have this. I'll take the books, Ma, and go, I said, trying to smile at her. I looked at my younger brothers and they looked away. Please, Samuel, she implored, her fingers digging into my shoulder. She somehow knew I might not be back. I hugged her and my books all together and then rushed out the door. Mary was waiting. It was too dark to see them properly, but I handed her one and she held it like it was a fragile baby. She seemed to know it was special. It's my words, my writing, Mary, I said. I don't know how it happened, and Da says I must burn them. I sniffed and wiped my eyes. Come here, you big lump, she wrapped her arms around me. First time ever, and I didn't ever want to leave that circle of sweetness. My eyes burst like fountains and my body shook as a huge cry came up my body. She held me like she'd never let me go, and I held on her ear and dribbled down her neck, and I think she was smiling. She may have been crying too, not sure. We have 3 choices, she said when I was quieter, holding me at arm's length. Pretend you've burned them. I can't lie. Then burn them and pretend they never happened. Can't do that. Can't burn what comes from my heart. Just can't. or leave this place with your books. And leave you? Leaving my family seemed easier than leaving Mary just then. Actually, I just couldn't. I'm wherever you are, Samuel. I come if you want me to, she said simply, unemotionally, as if it was just a fact. I slumped down on the trough and probably looked like the boy on the cover. Hey, maybe it was me, I suddenly thought. Mary sat next to me, her arm around my shoulder as 100 thoughts tumbled around in my brain. I couldn't stop one of them and looked at Mary with a dumb smile. This is a defining moment, she said. You'll take the fourth choice. We both leapt up at Ma's voice in the dark. You'll stay with your Aunt Maud, my sister, who left our community all those years ago. I've packed your bag. But Ma, I said as a squillion questions tumbled into my mouth. You knew? I knew all along, son. You've always had the writing gift, but not the gift of secrecy. You weren't always careful putting your words away, and I read them and loved them, and waited for the time you would stand for your passion. Da will be angry. He'll stop us. Oh, the fearsome are so as they're fearful, she said, touching my arm. Fear thinks crooked. Love is strength, and love thinks straight. It needs not to change. He'll change his mind when his fear goes. But Mary, I asked, as another question unravelled itself. She can visit, for now, and we'll let time and love take care of the future. The books, the suit people. I've had a wee chat with her, Ma said, coming closer. Seems her brother is a publisher. Some secrets are good, Samuel. I wanted to see the look on your face. She grabbed Mary and I, and we hugged and chuckled and cried, a little in the dark. That was a short story titled The Good Book, written and read by Philip J. Bradbury.